You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, the weekend edition, a motorist dies in a fiery blaze. The Progressive Liberal Party marks 2 years in office. Boosting female representation in politics. And in sports, Jonquel Jones' Liberty wins the playoff opener. The Bahamas tonight, the weekend edition, starts now. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. I'm Jimenita Swain. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping news. A fatal fiery wreck recorded on Mackey Street, claiming the life of a lone driver just after 3 Saturday morning. Preliminary reports reveal that the driver of a blue Nissan Skyline traveling south along Mackey Street lost control and collided with the utility pole, causing the vehicle to burst into flames. Fire services extinguished the blaze, revealing the charred remains of the driver. Police are now working to identify the victim. At the scene today, the remnants of a damaged wall and mangled utility wires and a pole, reflecting the severity of the accident. Meantime, the circumstances into the discovery of a man's body at the bottom of a flight of stairs now under investigation. The incident reported around 1:45 Saturday morning in the area of Hospital Lane and Rosconnor. Emergency medical services responded to the scene and conducted a thorough physical examination of the victim before declaring him dead. An autopsy will be conducted to determine the exact cause of death. Investigations continue. Also making news tonight, 2 years to the day the Progressive Liberal Party emerged victorious from the polls, ushering a new Davis Cooper-led administration. It's a day party leaders have paused to commemorate today, gathering for breakfast at the party's headquarters. Here's Anthony Smith.
What you'll see is building on successes of the last 2 years.
2 years into office, and the Davis Cooper-led administration is not resting on their laurels.
Still a lot to do, and we are working on getting those things done.
That commitment by Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis on Saturday at the first of a few celebratory events to mark the Progressive Liberal Party's 2-year victory. Those 2 years seeing to a rise in minimum wage, an increase in affordable housing, and a drop in value-added tax, among other achievements.
If you think back about 2 years ago, where we were with the multiple crises we've had, bad policies has been inflicted upon the Bahamian people, and we had to correct all of that. The country, I think, is now going in the right direction. We did a lot of things. I'm proud of the accomplishments that my team and I have accomplished over the last 2 years.
Now the government has managed to pass some 100 pieces of legislation, completing what they have touted as the first half of their legislative agenda. And when the government heads back to Parliament after its prorogation ends on October 4th, it does so with a brand new cabinet and brand new plans.
We're going to continue the legislative work that we have started. We anticipate great work in many ministries. The individual ministries, ministers will speak to what's to come in their ministries. But on the tourism front, we're going to continue to advance the work that we've started in roaring back to the best of the best.
And more than that, officials say they're looking to continue building with the Bahamian people.
We are very excited about the possibilities for us to impact our country and to impact change. Most importantly, we are humbled by the opportunity given to us by the people of the Bahamas. We promised them that we would work for them. We promised them that we would deliver on our blueprint for change, and we promised them that we won't let them down.
A Thanksgiving church service is scheduled to take place on Sunday at Mount Tabor to mark the occasion. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Antoinette Smith.
For the third year now, the United States Embassy Nassau hosting its Women in Politics reception. It's something that commenced just after the 2021 general election. A salute to leading women in government and politics within the Bahamas, hosted by the U.S. Chargé d'Affaires, Usha Pitts. The move, a push to increase the female representation among the policymakers.
I would really love to see more Bahamian women run for office. I know it's a difficult thing to do, but we do know that when women take political power and have a political presence, it does change how society evolves in a country, and I think changes it for the better.
U.S. Chargé d'Affaires Usha Pitts summing up why women from across all political divides were invited to the reception. There are 7 women currently serving in Parliament. Pitts hopes that number increases to a 50% representation in the next general election, something wife of the Prime Minister, Anne-Marie Davis, agrees with.
I'm so proud of our magnificent 7 that we have here in the Bahamas. We have a ways to go still. And I want to be able to pick out a few more people in this crowd.
According to UN Women, only 26.5% of parliamentarians in single or lower houses are women. Additionally, only 6 countries have 50% or more women in parliament in single or lower houses. And in Latin America and the Caribbean, women hold 36% of parliamentary seats. Of those in attendance were women who had run for office, be it successful or not. Coalition of Independents National Chairman Charlotte Green, who was unsuccessful in securing the vote in Carmichael, says she remains motivated.
We need change, and change can come through us all, but more so women. Women have a way of truly impacting change.
Other serving women share why greater women representation is important.
But it's important that we occupy these roles purposefully so that the other women who may have been thinking about it, the young girls who may have a thought or an aspiration, will see that it's not only possible, and it's not only possible to do it well, but that they have persons like us that they can look up to.
It's so important for women to be in the room where decisions are made. We bring a different perspective to the decisions. We have different experiences, and so it's so important to be there. But how are we in the room where it happens? We got to be in frontline politics. We have to win our constituencies.
And at the end of the day,
this is not a partisan issue. It's not about F&M or about PLP. It's about acknowledging that taking advantage of all the women who are in the country, their resources, what they bring to the table, is good for the country.
Also to come in the weekend edition, dengue fever concerns continue. Details of that and other stories after the break.
Are you a Bahamian artist? Do you love your Bahamian culture? Are you ready for an opportunity of a lifetime? Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group cordially invites you to submit your unreleased Rake and Scrape single now and join the League of Extraordinary Musical Talents. We're seeking authenticity, innovation, and the quintessential Bahamian flair that sets your music apart. To showcase your talent on Island Jams Volume 3. So, simply share your private YouTube, SoundCloud links, or MP3 with us via email at keepthevibelive242@gmail.com. Our ears are tuned to greatness, and we can't wait to discover the next start of Raise Our Island Jams album series. Join hands with the best of the best as we craft a musical journey that echoes through time. Don't miss your chance to shine among the brightest musical talents. Songwriters, producers, artists, and become a part of Island Jams Volume 3.
Good to grow. Keeping you in the know. Keeping you in the know. God, it's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources' long-awaited Agrarian Awards is just a few days away. September 16th at 7 p.m. at Margaritaville, farmers will walk away with top prizes. Finalists for Female Farmer of the Year are Shavara Roker-Enyas of Chickcharney Farms, Whitlin Miller of Sunset Organic Farms, Norma Roberts of Mama Bling Farms in Grand Bahama, and Kevita Green of Duncan Coppice in South Andros. For Male Farmer of the Year, the finalists are Terrence Roberts III of Berkshire Farms in Grand Bahama, Sydney Sinclair of Down to Earth Adventure Farms in New Providence, Ty Gideon of Gideon Farms in Abaco, and Christopher Higgs of Higgs Organic Farm Products here in New Providence. For Governor General Community Farm of the Year, Treasure Key Community Aquaponics Farm in Abaco, Eat and Teach Clinic Farms in New Providence, and Seasonal Sunshine Bahamas in New Providence will contend for that prize. Youth Female Farmer of the Year finalists include Frederica Dames of Deluxe Farm Company in South Andros, Diore Scott of Grammy Jude's Organic Poultry Eggs in New Providence, Takai Bain, and Kiara McKenzie will all contend for that prize. For the Prime Minister's Youth Male Farmer of the Year, those finalists include Kobe Forbes of New Century Farming in Long Island, Devontae Roll in Exuma, Fintai Bethine of Vacations in Paradise Farms in New Providence, and Tyreek Fowler. Now it's up to the Blue Ribbon panel to decide who will walk away as the winners. That's September 16th at 7 p.m. at Margaritaville. Tune in to the ministry's Facebook page where you can watch the live streaming of that event. For Good to Grow, I'm Georgie O'Bain.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call SmartPass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
Thanks for staying with us. The fact that health officials have seen serotypes 1 and 2 in previous outbreaks of local dengue cases places the Bahamas at higher risk. According to Chief Medical Officer Dr. Pearl McMillan, serotype 3 only compounds the problem. That is, we are all, to some extent, at a higher risk.
That will be when you really start to go decompensate, that you will start to have symptoms, not just the fever and the rash, but you will start to have abdominal pain. You may have some bleeding at your gums, and it is it can actually be fatal. Now, another key thing related to severe illness or illness and possibly death, other than just age, because what we know about dengue is that the extremes of age, as with many other conditions, they are at higher risk for, worse outcomes. We also know that underlying health conditions can also predispose you to a worse health outcome with dengue. That includes illnesses like diabetes, hypertension, all of those things that we know are very common in our population. So I'm saying these things so that we can take the necessary precautions.
Now, health officials say if you begin to experience dengue symptoms, seek medical attention early, as the outcome has proven to be better. The hotline numbers are 802-1143 or 814-4015. You can call those numbers between the hours of 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. Monday to Friday and 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on weekends. Well, today is World Cleanup Day, and the Anglerston community rising to the challenge of sprucing up the area. A goodly number of residents turning out in the area of Homestead Avenue to conduct the cleanup exercise, clearing away garbage and foliage. Area Member of Parliament Glenys Hanna Martin, while not getting in on the cleanup effort, applauded the residents.
The impetus behind it is that it's not to be superimposed by the state or outsiders or third parties, but people who live in the communities come together, collaborate, and clean up the environment. So you'll see here, people here are from the community. When you get further down, you'll see people are painting their houses. And in fact, as I was driving through Anglerston, I saw people sweeping their front door, and I haven't seen that for a little while. Because that used to happen a lot in the olden days in the Bahamas, but this is really to raise awareness on the importance of a clean environment. It's a health issue in terms of environmental health issue in terms of rodents and other negative aspects. And then it also affects the psyche, and that's really the part that I'm very focused on, the psyche of people who are living in around circumstances which are very depressing and uninspiring and very negative. So this is a very important day because the people of this community are taking it in their hands.
The man behind the initiative, Konkale Konkalar, says he's been doing these events for the last 11 years and working with Let's Do It World for the last 6.
It is important because the mindset of the people in our country has to change. If you want your environment clean, you got to clean it up.
Well, a recent state visit of Botswana President His Excellency the Honorable Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi and delegation in many respects as the Bahamas forge ties with the African continent. During one of the opportunities, Masisi expressed significant regard to the Bahamas for hosting its team and offered to extend a similar gesture to the Bahamas following continuous gifts given by officials. Due to a number of reasons, including tight protection and civil unrest in neighboring countries, Botswana has the largest elephant population on the continent of Africa. The relative difficulty in accessing the wildlife areas, coupled with the military threat to poachers, has allowed the elephant population in Botswana to thrive. Masisi says he's willing to share this aspect of his country with the Bahamas.
But we happen to be home to the largest herd of elephants in the world in the wild. And so the problems that come with that may not be as easily understood, which problems, when we escalate to CITES, are also not as easily understood, because unfortunately many would perceive elephants to be, unique, esoteric pets, which we would like to see as two, but we only want to share the burden of keeping them. And one of the things that we do is we offer elephants for free to those who'd want them, as long as they also keep them under conditions under which we prescribe to them, because we know how to keep elephants the best in the world.
Just in time for the weekend, our Corval Pyfrom again takes us with a look back at the moments from this past week that brought smiles to our faces.
We're smiling more this week because of stories of amazing performances by our students.
Yo estoy bien y me gusta que yo soy la más joven para tocar.
Like 9-year-old Zoe Nairn, who made history as the youngest student to sit and pass the Spanish BJC. And not just pass, she aced it. Bonds Beyond Borders. The state visit this week of Botswana's president and his wife cemented a friendship 20 years in the making.
And thank you to everybody here for this very warm welcome. We shall take back very good memories when we go home.
A shared historical past paving the way to a mutual beneficial future. And we hit a high note. Well, at least our Opal Roach did, as she took a reading to students at Stephen Dillard Primary School this week and turned it into song.
I love my white shoes. I love my white shoes. I love my white shoes. I guess I should sing that to a tune. I love my white shoes. Let's sing with me. I love my white shoes. I love my white shoes. I love my white shoes.
Great key, Oprah. Remember, a smile helps lighten the load, and it never cost a thing. Here's to a great weekend and an even super week ahead. I'm Corbell Pyfrom for the Bahamas Tonight. In case you missed the news or want to stay ahead, subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on X, TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook.
With the help of our authorized financial institutions, or AFIs, using sand dollars is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Step 1. Identify your preferred AFI by browsing their websites or contacting them directly. Step 2. Download the free mobile application from Google Play or the Apple Store and then register for a sand dollar account. Step 3. Load money onto your mobile app and begin sending and receiving sand dollars or purchasing and selling goods and services.
We are pleased to be
your central bank approved
digital wallet providers.
It does not matter
Which of us you choose?
You can pay for goods and services
Wherever Sand Dollar is accepted.
We are all in this together.
Visit sanddollar.bs for more information.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to your Saturday Sports, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports news from the WNBA. Jonquel Jones with a big night in the New York Liberty's playoff opening win. Jones posting 20 points and 10 rebounds to help lead the Liberty to a 90-75 victory over the Washington Mystics in Game 1 of their best of 3 first-round playoff series. Friday's win marked the first home playoff win for New York since 2015. After eking into the postseason last year, the Liberty transformed their roster into a super team this offseason and are hoping to bring home the franchise's first championship next month. Game 2, which will also take place in Brooklyn, is set for tip-off at 7 p.m. on Tuesday. Washington hoping to keep their season alive and force a winner-take-all Game 3. Donald Thomas still at it after nearly 2 decades of success in the men's high jump. Is one of the most impressive individual track and field resumes in Bahamian history. The veteran speaks about his longevity and the conversations that he has with some of the younger athletes.
And really, like when I am outside, at least like everyone trying to pick my brain. It's like everyone asking me like for advice. Yo, how you doing this? How you doing this so long? How you stay injury free? Bro, I 22. I feel something might need. Like, what you suggest I do? Or what is some of the workouts you do? Or some of it even be as far as like, could I come and train with you for a couple weeks? Or you could give me some of the drills you be doing. And, you know, a lot of the guys be telling me stories like, bro, I watch you, you inspire me. And you was one of the reasons I started high jumping. And like, you a legend. And there's some of the stuff I be hearing, but you know what I mean? But really, a lot of the guys who I compete against, they wasn't jumping when I started jumping, and now they jumping. So it's like I watch a whole era with me go, and then I watch an era while I was jumping go, and now I jumping with this new crop. So it's all fun.
Still on track news, Dexter Bodie has been at the helm of the Roadrunners Athletics Club since 1999, when past leader Miss Diana Lynn Thompson handed the club over to him. Since then, he has transformed the club into what he calls an outreach ministry. With the assistance of the parents, the club hosts a yearly banquet to honor deserving student athletes, attend church services, and travel internationally to track and field meets. After a closeout meeting recently, Bodie gave this assessment of the 2023 season.
Our athletes performed extremely well. They were very outstanding. They came to the track, didn't waste any time. They did what they had to do. I must say, we had 3 athletes this year that have made the Carifta team. Trent Ford, Kyrie Roberts, Tamia Taylor. Trent also made the NACA under 20 team, under 23 team. So we were proud of them.
One of the largest clubs in New Providence, Roadrunners are already preparing for the preeminent cross-country and 2024 season.
Looking to have a real challenging year. We're looking for great teams next track season, and I'm looking and hope that we have more than 3 athletes that make the Carifta team next year. Yeah, we're looking for some good teams, and I know by the grace of God that we're going to have a great track season in 2024.
And that's Look at Your Sports on this Saturday. A check on weather when we return.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
The 19th Abaco Business Outlook is coming up Thursday, September 21st at the Abaco Beach Resort as we discuss the theme, Forward, Upward, Onward Together, in celebration of the nation's 50th anniversary of independence. Keynote speaker, the Honorable Wayne Monroe, Minister of National Security, will be joined by a diverse slate of speakers who will address issues impacting tourism, commerce, and stakeholder engagement. Don't miss this valuable networking opportunity. Register now at tclevents.com.
With the help of our authorized financial institutions, or AFIs, using sand dollars is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Step 1. Identify your preferred AFI by browsing their websites or contacting them directly. Step 2. Download the free mobile application from Google Play or the Apple Store and then register for a Sand Dollar account. Step 3. Load money onto your mobile app and begin sending and receiving Sand Dollars or purchasing and selling goods and services.
We are pleased to be
your central bank approved
digital wallet providers.
It does not matter
which of us you choose.
You can pay for goods and services
wherever Sand Dollar is accepted.
We are all in this together.
Visit sanddollar.bs for more information.
It's time now for a check on tonight's weather forecast. Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean joins us in studio with the latest temperatures. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Jimenita. We have partly cloudy skies, temperature 85 degrees, relative humidity at 68%. We have east-northeast winds at 4 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,014.6 millibars. That is 29.95 inches, and the pressure is rising. Temperatures around the farming valleys this evening. Marsh Harbor, Abaco at 84, 81 degrees in Green Tulkey, Abaco. Freeport, Grand Bahama at 81 as well. 85, 88 degrees there in Harbor Island. Roxanne, Lutra 86. Black Point, Exuma 87, 87 also in Camp Space, St. Andros. Fresh Creek, Central Andros at 85 degrees. 87s in Otterstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, and in Rumkey, Georgetown, Exuma also 87 degrees. 87s in Riker Island, Clarence, Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay may go on a little warmer at 89. Ackland's 89, Matchitown and Agua 81, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 88 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight through Sunday for all areas. The winds will remain light and variable with flat seas 1 to 3 feet. High tide, that will occur at 9:10 tonight. Another high tide at 9:54 tomorrow morning. And then in the tropics, we still have post-tropical cyclone Lee, which is now about 150 miles to the southwest of Nova Scotia, and it's moving very rapidly towards the north at some 22 miles per hour. Despite it has lost that tropical characteristic, it's still giving a good punch with maximum sustained winds of 70 miles per hour. And then over in the far eastern Atlantic, Margot, tropical storm Margot, still out there, no threat to any landmass, moving southwest at about 8 miles per hour, and we'll make that the loop over the next several days. And then we have tropical depression number 15. Yes, that's about 1,035 miles to the east-northeast of the northern Leeward Islands. It is moving towards the northwest at about 18 miles per hour, maximum sustained winds unchanged at 35 miles per hour. But the computer models are indicating that this system could become a tropical storm later on tonight or during the early morning on Sunday as it continues on that northwest track. And then closer to home, we have that weakening across the northwest Bahamas, which was responsible for those early afternoon showers. But the most intense of it will be around the Abaco and Grand Bahama area tonight through tomorrow. Elsewhere, throughout the central and southeastern parts of the country, it's going to be pretty much okay with just 1 or 2 brief spotty showers. Tonight, mostly clear, still on the warm side, but a low temperature around 81 degrees. And tomorrow, we're looking at intervals of clouds and sunshine with, again, afternoon showers popping up in spots. 89 degrees for your high temperature, and your extended weather forecast look like this. Pop-up showers on Sunday. Things get a lot better as we go into the early part of next week, where we'll have lots of sunshine in our forecast during the daytime, and those daytime temperatures once again hanging between the mid-80s and up into the low 90s. But just before we close off, I'd like to extend a happy birthday greeting to my brother-in-law, Leonard Ferguson. He did something that no other male in his immediate family has done, and that was reaching the age of 70 years old today. Enjoy your day, bro. Jimenita.
Thanks, Basil, and that will end the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. We thank you for continuing to make ZNS your #1 news and information network. as only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. On behalf of the entire team, thanks for watching and good night.